Meanwhile, China is recalibrating. Its diplomats are striking a different tone. China has a new foreign minister, and he doesn't want to be known as a wolf warrior. Qin Gang says he wants to dance with the wolves instead. Consider what he said, and I'm quoting, "China's diplomacy has enough kindness and benevolence. But when wolves are getting in our way and start attacking, Chinese diplomats must dance with the wolves to defend the country." Let me repeat. That's a Chinese diplomat lecturing the world about kindness and benevolence. What does the statement mean? Dancing with the wolves. What is the new Chinese foreign minister trying to convey here? Instead of hitting back, Qin is trying to paint China as the victim. Instead of being called a wolf warrior, he's suggesting that it is China that is under attack. The term wolves here is in reference to the US and its allies, and the minister is trying to convey that China is surrounded by them. And this is a clear shift. Instead of a sharp-tongued, rage-induced, combative diplomacy, Chinese diplomats are adopting a softer tone. The shift began in January with the demotion of Zhao Lijian. He made a name for himself thanks to his combative approach. It earned him the nickname Wolf Warrior in Chief. And what contributed to his rise also led to his downfall. Zhao was the spokesperson of China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Now he's been pulled out of the spotlight. Do you know what his new role is? He works for the Department of Boundary and Ocean Affairs. It's a relatively obscure department, and that's an understatement. The message, though, is clear. The wolf warriors have been put on a leash, and the reasons are obvious. The Communist Party faces serious domestic challenges. The Chinese economy needs a revival, so Beijing wants to reduce points of friction. The next step is to revive diplomatic engagement. It began with the German Chancellor's visit to Beijing last year. Xi Jinping sat down with Olaf Scholz. China is trying to woo Europe again. Because the European Union is the biggest trading bloc in the world. It accounts for around 15% of the world's imports and exports. And China is the largest exporter of goods. It wants to retain that title. So Europe is a good place to start. More European leaders are expected to visit China soon, like French President Emmanuel Macron. And going by some claims, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni too. Beijing is making an outreach in the Indo-Pacific as well. Earlier this month, the Chinese foreign minister was in India. Qin Gang visited New Delhi for a G20 meeting. He met with External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. China has tried to repair ties with Australia too. In December, the Australian Foreign Affairs Minister paid a visit to Beijing. So the focus is very much on engagement, on reviving engagement. Chinese diplomats have new orders. They're now talking to their counterparts rather than talking at them. But some things have not changed, like Beijing's animosity towards Washington. With the US, China maintains the same wolf warrior approach, and it flows from the top. This week, Xi Jinping slammed the United States. He said the US was trying to suppress China. Then the Chinese foreign minister chimed in. He said Washington should change its attitude or risk conflict with China.
The United States claims to be competing to win against China rather than seeking conflict. But in fact, the United States' so-called competition is total containment and suppression, a zero-sum game in which you die and I live.
Some things never change. Can the dragon stop breathing fire? We'll have to wait and see.